Stonewall, J.E.B. I've asked you here tonight because I sense an opportunity to tip the balance of power in this war in our favor is upon us. We stand now with the Army of Northern Virginia outnumbered nearly 2-to-1 by the forces of Joseph Hooker. His army is rested, well supplied, and confident after months of preparation. Ours is scattered, lean, and strained by distance and necessity. Yet I remind you, numbers alone do not determine the outcome of battle. Resolve, timing, and the correct use of ground and movement may yet carry the day. I have considered carefully the enemy's situation and his commander's temperament. General Hooker is not without ability, but he is a man inclined toward caution when confronted with complexity. He has reorganized his army and restored its morale, but he has also set for himself a plan that is ambitious, perhaps overly so. That ambition will be his weakness. I believe he intends to cross the Rappahannock River in force, not directly against our strongest positions at Fredericksburg, but upstream, quietly, deliberately, seeking to place a large portion of his army on our flank and rear. Simultaneously, he will maintain pressure in front of Fredericksburg with another corps under John Sedgwick, threatening us from the east while his main body maneuvers westward toward Chancellorsville. It is a double envelopment, sound in theory, dangerous in execution. He will expect us to retreat. That is the key to his design. He believes that by threatening our communications and forcing us to abandon our lines, he can compel us into movement under disadvantage. He expects hesitation. He expects compliance. He expects us to yield the initiative. We shall do none of those things. Instead, I propose that we seize the initiative ourselves, and in doing so, we must embrace a course that is unconventional, even hazardous. We shall divide our army in the presence of a superior force. I do not make this proposal lightly. Every principle of war cautions against it. To divide one's force when outnumbered invites destruction in detail, if the enemy acts swiftly and decisively. But I have weighed General Hooker's character and the terrain upon which he must operate, and I judge that he will not act with sufficient speed or unity to take advantage of our division. The wilderness of Spotsylvania, where this battle shall unfold, is dense, tangled ground, unsuitable for large formations, difficult for artillery, and confusing for maneuver. In such terrain, numbers lose their advantage, command becomes uncertain, control is diminished. In such a place, audacity becomes a force multiplier. Now let me speak plainly of what I expect to occur. Hooker will cross upriver and concentrate near Chancellorsville within the next 2 days. He will believe he has turned our flank. He will advance cautiously at first, probing eastward. But when he encounters resistance, I believe he will halt and assume a defensive posture, choosing to let us attack him rather than risk exposing his army further in unfamiliar terrain. This hesitation will be our opportunity. While he pauses, believing himself in control, we shall strike. General Jackson, I intend for you to play the central role in this design. When the enemy has committed himself west of Fredericksburg and established his line near Chancellorsville, I will hold a portion of the army in front of him, sufficient to occupy his attention and convince him that we are fixed in place. With the remainder, you will undertake a flank march, long, concealed, and decisive. You will move your entire corps around the enemy's right flank. I anticipate that Hooker's right will be weak, anchored neither on strong terrain nor properly fortified. He will believe the wilderness itself is sufficient protection. He will not expect a large force to move through it undetected. That belief shall be his undoing. You will march early, move swiftly, and strike late in the day, when the enemy is least prepared, when his men are resting, when vigilance has given way to routine. Your attack must be sudden and overwhelming. You must roll up his line from the flank, sow confusion, and drive him back upon his center. If executed properly, the enemy's right will collapse in disorder. General Stuart, your cavalry will be essential to this plan. You must screen General Jackson's movement completely. No reconnaissance by the enemy must discover his march. You will also observe the enemy's dispositions and report any attempt by Hooker to advance aggressively. Should he move in strength against my position, we must be prepared to adjust, but I judge that he will not. Additionally, you must be ready to exploit success. When the enemy line begins to give way, your cavalry must press upon his rear, disrupt his communications, and magnify the confusion that Jackson's attack creates. Now, as to Fredericksburg, General Sedgwick remains there with a significant force. I do not believe he will act decisively at first. His orders, I suspect, will be conditional, dependent upon the success of Hooker's movements. He will demonstrate against our lines, perhaps probe them, but he will hesitate to commit fully unless he sees clear advantage. We shall leave a portion of our army there under capable command, enough to delay him, to hold the heights, and to create the impression of strength. Should Sedgwick advance in earnest, he may succeed in breaking through, but even then, time will be our ally. By the time he moves westward, we shall have already struck Hooker, and once Hooker is shaken, once his army is disordered and forced into retreat, we shall turn upon Sedgwick with our reunited forces and drive him back across the river. That, gentlemen, is the sequence I foresee. Hooker advances and halts. We divide. Jackson marches and strikes the exposed flank. The enemy right collapses. Hooker withdraws toward the river. Sedgwick advances too late. We concentrate and repel him. And thus, by boldness and timing, we defeat a force twice our size. There are risks, great ones. If Hooker advances aggressively while we are divided, he could overwhelm the portion of our army before Jackson returns. If Jackson's march is discovered, the enemy could reposition and meet him in strength. If Sedgwick moves with unexpected speed, he could threaten our rear at a critical moment. But I judge each of these risks to be outweighed by the opportunity before us. We must not fight this battle as the enemy expects. We must not meet strength with strength where he is strongest. We must strike where he is weakest, physically and mentally. General Jackson, your energy and secrecy will determine the success of this plan. You must trust in the movement, even when it seems long and uncertain. When you strike, strike with all the force at your command, and do not hesitate. General Stuart, your vigilance will ensure that the enemy remains blind until it is too late. Your cavalry is the shield behind which this maneuver depends, and I shall remain with the portion of the army facing Hooker, holding him in place, presenting a threat sufficient to fix his attention, yet avoiding a full engagement until the proper moment arrives. Gentlemen, we stand at a crossroads. The enemy believes he has outmaneuvered us. He believes that by numbers and position he has secured the advantage. Let him believe it a little longer. If we succeed here, if we strike as I have described, then we shall not only defeat his army, but restore the initiative to our cause. We shall carry the war forward, beyond the Rappahannock, beyond Virginia itself. I say to you plainly, if victory is achieved here at Chancellorsville, it will be the last great battle fought on Confederate soil. The next shall be fought on the enemy's ground. And there, perhaps, we shall compel him to reckon with the cost of this war in a manner he has not yet endured. Prepare your commands. The moment approaches. May God bless the Army of Northern Virginia.